Is March 24th, 2026. This is the meeting of the Ocean Shores Planning Commission, meeting at the Ocean Shores Library at 573 Point Brown Avenue Northwest in Ocean Shores. And we have a roll call. We've got some new members to our commission today. So Commissioner Ward.
Here.
Mr. Peterson.
Here.
Commissioner Beck. Commissioner Hill. Here. Commissioner Nonan.
Here.
Commissioner Doring. Here. Commissioner Johnston is here.
Kern is the one that you're missing on that list. That's what you have wrong.
Oh, Kern, I'm sorry.
Here.
Looking at an old one there. Okay, so can I get a motion for approval of the meeting agenda?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a proposal to change the agenda to move item 9 to the head of the line.
Do I hear a motion?
You have a motion, you need a second.
What
was the motion again?
Move 9 to the head of the line. Let the firemen.
Did we get a second?
I have.
Gary seconded. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, then do I have a meeting to approve the amended agenda?
No,
I heard the minute, okay, Peter. Second,
Second.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then need a motion for approval of the minutes of the planning commission meeting on February 24th, 2026. Okay. Second,
second.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we have 3 minutes for public communication. Is there anything that the public would like to bring to our attention at this point? Vita? Anything to bring up?
Hi. Well, thank you for recognizing me. I did submit some comments to Marshall just prior to the meeting. I'll leave it up to his discretion, whether he wants to introduce those comments regarding chapter 1509. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone inside here have any comments at this point? Okay, moving on to old business then. We need to have a secretary to the commission. Do I
I
have,
thought you were moving Andy up.
what's that?
Item 9.
Oh. True, sorry.
That's why I'm here.
Thank you. Okay, so item 9, the fire sprinkler system requirements for all new construction. And we have somebody from the department to address that issue.
So I'm here to answer any questions you guys may have on that right now. As of right now, we're still looking at putting residential sprinkler system ordinance together and introducing it to the city. So I'm here to help answer any questions you guys may have or anything like that for further information on it.
And to clarify, that is for only on new construction going forward from any changes.
That is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
For the new members, possibly, I think maybe we should, and the people that weren't here last week when we didn't have a quorum, but we had kind of we had a sit down with the fire chief about the issue. And we were allowed, I mean, we gave him a bunch of questions that we wanted answered. And, you know, about things that he was going to look into. And I don't know for sure if they have looked into those things or not, but that's kind of where we left it, even though it wasn't an official meeting, it was a conversation to find something.
Right. And I don't know if you passed along any of that.
So I know one of the questions was how much do these systems cost? I've reached out to a couple different, departments or a couple different agencies that deal with the residential sprinkler systems. They weren't able to get back to me yet. But on the average, it's $1.53 a square foot. Is the average price for those to be installed. So that's materials and labor.
And that's for obviously new construction.
That's new construction, yeah.
And that's the responsibility of the homeowner.
Yeah, that would be in the responsibility of the homeowner
Or contractor.
or contractor. And then there's also the question of maintenance for the residential sprinkler systems. The maintenance is very, very low. Most of these systems are a flow through, so your sprinkler system actually ends by plugging into the back of your toilet and supplying your toilet with water. So every time you flush the toilet, it runs water through the pipes and keeps those nice and clean and going. And then for inspection and maintenance on those, it's only initial install, and then the homeowner's up to inspecting and maintaining it. And when you're inspecting it, you're just making sure that the sprinkler heads aren't clogged. There's no damage to any of the pipes, nothing's hanging on the pipes if you have exposed pipes or anything like that.
We were kind of under the impression at one time that it had to be inspected. We were told that it had to be inspected yearly and be inspected by a certified sprinkler inspector.
So some systems are that way, but the residential sprinkler system, the 13D system for NFPA is not required to have a certified inspection yearly.
What do you call that system for residential?
It's actually classified with all recommendations are under the NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, and it's the 13D for dwelling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has all the standards for hanging them, the sprinkler heads, maintenance, different ways you can plumb them. All of that are in that document.
Is there required maintenance time period? Like annually or something like that?
No, there's very minimal maintenance to them. These systems were built to not have a very cost, a big cost to them. They're meant to be affordable and usable and make sure that they run smoothly without having all the plumbing have to have. But your businesses in that, they have a higher sprinkler system where those have to be inspected yearly by certified.
Like the fire extinguishers.
Yeah,
Is there a fire system inside this building?
inside this building, no.
Yeah. Okay, so would the city then have to put one in, or how does that work?
No, because it's a retroactive cause. If they were to remodel this building, then it would kick in.
I see. So if I remodeled my house, would I have to then, would I have to retrofit my home and put those sprinklers in?
That is still under conversations on if we're gonna go retro or not.
See,
But as of this time, there is no retroactive clause for residential.
I see. Okay. Well, there isn't for residential. It's just
Right.
your
Yeah.
businesses and whatnot.
It's just your businesses where you have other people coming in and make sure that life safety.
In the daily rentals, things like VRBOs, they have to have them.
The VRBOs are a very, very interesting thing because they do fall under the residential code. State has not adopted the residential sprinkler system yet. So they are still considered a residential, but they're also a business. So we are asking to do alternative methods to help out with those instead of making them put in a sprinkler system.
Do you know of any cities that actually have this code?
Yes, there's 11 cities throughout Washington.
And where can we find out about that?
So Olympia, Marysville, Auburn, Arlington just passed. I don't have the full list with me.
That's good enough.
Yeah,
And those are the same requirements for new construction.
yes,
Just for clarification. If a builder is building a spec home,
Mhm.
then they would have to pay for the installation of that system. Um, if they were working with a buyer,
Mhm.
is that, do they pay and then pass it along to the buyer?
I'm not sure, that would have to be in their contract with the,
I was just gonna ask that because, let's say my home, 1,700 square feet at $1.53 per foot. That comes out to $2,601. That's at that cost of $1.53. Now, if the contractor's gonna put it in, I'm not gonna put it in. So what's the markup gonna be on that? You know, I think that's kind of where you were
Yeah.
going, with that. Yeah.
so,
We're gonna go up even higher than that.
yeah, I can't speak to the markup on things. I can speak to what the research that have been done throughout the state, throughout cities. The $1.53 has been quoted in Washington State. And with that quote, it's been from the contractors putting it in.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the markup would be out here. Like I said, I have reached out to a couple of the installers that are out here and they didn't get back to me in time.
Right, yeah. Pretty tough economy right now to be tacking on another $3,000 to a house right now, but
Well, what's interesting is in earlier conversations, like several meetings ago, we heard figures as high as heading it on 15 to 20,000.
that's true. I forgot about that. You're absolutely correct. Yeah,
$100,000 house, whatever size that is, it's gonna add on a good chunk.
right.
And the argument was that, well, you know, 10 grand at whatever your mortgage rate is for 30 years isn't
Yeah.
that much to your
Sure.
too. So I'm kind of wondering why there's that gap. There must be some sort of.
Maybe we can, I'll look. I'll see if I can get some more.
You know, it would be a better feeling if it was like the old few years ago when you got discounts for putting solar in or something, you know, a benefit. But I see nothing here that's gonna help the cost of putting that in.
Well, somebody had mentioned,
Yeah.
did you hear of anything about the insurance companies?
I did reach out to Farmers Insurance here in town.
Mhm.
They do not do any discount for having a sprinkler system in
Yeah.
there.
It's the same as when the security guys call you up and say, hey, if you put this in, you're gonna get a lot of money off. So I called up Allstate and I said, yeah, I need my discount. I got this in there. And the gal started laughing. And I said, what's so funny? She goes, you know what your big is? I go, what? She goes, $2 a month. And I was like, whoa, I sure paid a lot more than the $2. But like he said, if there's incentives, you know, that's one thing,
A
but
little easier to swallow,
yeah.
but my point.
And this goes through the city council,
Yes, it needs to go through the city.
no voter, I mean, citizen input.
Yeah.
Obviously, but it's not a voting.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's as far as I know.
You know, basically our role in it is to just toss out the questions, get some input from whatever public is involved with our meeting, and then if we decide to forward it to the council, we send it to the mayor and he takes it up with the council to.
Do we know what the deadline is for that?
I don't think they have a deadline per se.
No, I
I
don't
think
think
the
there's.
one incentive that I got from the fire chief and from the mayor this morning again was reminding me that we had 2 fatalities due to fires in the last 5 years in the city of Ocean Shores. No, not 100%, but could have possibly been prevented by having sprinkler systems. And we do have a lot of non-resident vacant places in town that would be their only means of having any protection at all if something went haywire while they're not here, you know?
I would suggest that we, have somebody check into with a couple different other insurance companies. Because, with my fire background that we were talking about, we found in a lot of cases that people were paying more insurance for their homeowners insurance because they figured that with the sprinkler system, even if it was just in one room, you know, that came on type situation, that the insurance, you know, it could be very little damage to put a fire out, but with the water damage it's going to create, and the insurance company is on a hook for, you know, more. expenditures. So it might be nice to just have somebody volunteer or something. I mean, it's your deal. So.
These don't shut off automatically, temperature lowers.
No, they don't shut off automatically, but they're, the residential systems that I've already inspected and everything, there is a shut off right inside the house. They're usually tucked in the closet. You open up the closet, you shut off the water supply, it shuts the water supply off to the sprinkler system.
Well, I was on a volunteer fire department for 18 years in northern Utah. And we would, every year you could count on 5 or 6, fire sprinklers frozen.
Not a big a deal here, but
No,
it has got that close. A couple times in the couple years I've been here, so.
And to the point where they're destroyed, the system is,
oh, yes, yeah. And it sends a fire call into, the system and you go there and open the door and water just. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but I'm saying that was an issue at that time.
Well, and your insurance is never gonna go back down if you have a water claim in your home, that's gonna skyrocket. Yeah,
One thing I will mention too with the cost of it is some people are looking at these sprinkler systems. You're looking at like a commercial system that you have to have pipe fitters come in and certified fire sprinkler people to put in. The residential system can be put in by plumbers. If they know the system and how to put it in, it can be put in with other people instead of the huge companies that do all the commercial work. So it is capable of being put in by other people, and that could be where you're getting a big variance.
Yeah, cause when I looked online, I got broad spectrum between 94 cents a square foot and 294. Big difference. And, I guess it would depend also on what type of construction you're looking at.
It's the construction and then it's the piping that you use. So with the 13D system, for example, you can use CPVC or you can use PEX water piping that you use for normal water pipes in the house. There's different methods that you can use to keep the cost up.
So it's a fairly low pressure system then,
Yeah.
especially if you're feeding it back in the toilet.
Yeah,
Well,
it runs off of 50 PSI.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it, is going through the toilet. Cause that is a concern of it, just plugging by just sitting there waiting for a fire. So that is a pretty good idea.
Yeah, and we talk about freezing pipes and everything, and this is just like your regular water pipes in your house. That's actually ran up from your main line into your house where it's insulated and kept warm, and then through the attic space in the insulation area, so it's got that protection from freezing. Is it 100% protection of freezing? No, nobody can guarantee that, but it's just like your water pipes. Most of your water pipes that bust are underneath the house that aren't insulated.
Any other questions or comments? Anybody?
Just one. With respect to the IBC and the classification of short-term rentals like Airbnb, there appears to be 2 different methods of determining the necessity for sprinklers and commercial activity. R1 is more commercial, I imagine, and 101.2 is residential. Now, when they discuss transient use, I think they say in the 101, where the occupants are primarily transient. That's R1, yeah.
R1.
And the other word, presumably they mean the opposite, where the occupants are primarily non-transient.
Yeah.
Is that how the city would view this with respect to short-term rentals?
So under the ordinance that was passed in October, they're using it for less than 30 days.
Right.
It's a transient in nature. But it being built under the residential code, if you go to the International Existing Building Code, there is a line item that says when you change your occupancy, it requires sprinkler system at that level. With exception number one being if it was built under the International Residential Code, the IRC,
101?
Yeah.
Okay.
that it does not require a sprinkler system. So that's where we asked to do the alternative
Some,
means and then say, hey,
sometimes,
we support this 100%, but I can't enforce it.
sometimes people purposely build what looks like a house, and is a house actually, but is actually a full-time transient rental. How is that considered?
So if they have a business license to run it, it would be an R1. Built, it'd be an R1 occupancy, but with the residential code, I still can't, I have that boundary where I can't cross that because it's in the codes that says it's exempted from requiring having.
Oh, it is, okay.
Sprinkler
Yeah.
system.
It's,
If we do pass an ordinance that says that we require sprinkler systems in all residential buildings, that could cover that area
right.
and make sure that those people are protected. And so we're just kind of, I'm caught in the code because I can uphold the code and that's it.
Right, right. Well, of course, whether it has to be licensed no matter what you do, but even it's a twice a year transient rental, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
I guess it'd be a question to the the people are handling all the building permits and stuff as to what percentage of permits being applied for are for transient types rather than just residential.
Hardly ever. Hardly ever.
Are they were
There's no place to put them mostly.
I guess the question would be, we wanted to hunt this forward to the next meeting and gather a little more information on insurance. Anybody into insurance at all, or
I can call somebody. That should be fairly easy.
for the next meeting, just get some rough quotes or estimates, whether it's obviously probably not gonna be a discount, but if there's possible surcharges because you have a sprinkler system, that'd probably be something public would want to know if it gets to the point of going to the council. Nice if they had the answer to that question ahead of time.
The motion that we, pull this off till next meeting.
I'd like to call some.
There's a couple of questions, yeah.
Me too.
Okay,
So I have a question. Do you are the insurance companies generally aware of this forthcoming ordinance?
For the city here, no, they're not really aware, but there are with the adoption into the 11 cities in Washington. So that's just in Washington, like the whole entire state of California has mandated this across the state. So any house built in California requires residential sprinkler systems. So your bigger name insurance companies already know about these sprinkler systems. Yeah, but going in and have a lot of information with those.
so we have a motion.
Motion to continue our discussion next schedule.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Insurance and plumbing. Okay. Good.
And then that code too, I'll see if I can get some small brief on the 13D code.
Yeah, I think I actually had some stuff on that one. Forward that to you.
And if you have any questions stop by the fire station, I'm happy to pull up the codes and talk about them and help you guys with anything you'd like.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
You.
Okay, then. There's now number 2 on the We need to have a nomination, an election of the commission secretary. Don't have any nomination.
Maybe you should, let your new people know who well, you're clearly the chair, but who the vice chair was.
Dennis Peterson is our vice chairman. And I'm the new chairman, and I think we both volunteered.
Also secretary too.
So, we've been through all of them almost, so. Secretary's just responsible for taking notes and for the following minutes to be published before the next meeting, and that's about the size of it. So anybody, yes, sir.
Do you think maybe we could have this young lady that's our support system sitting in the back? That she could possibly tell all of us here what she expects to make out an agenda or meetings of the minute from people, so.
Randy gives me the agenda.
Excuse
For
me,
the minutes.
yes, I
Well,
mean,
there's already a template and it's action minutes, so you only have to, like, if you guys are having a discussion, you could just say, we discussed this. That's it. You don't have to, it's not verbatim, it's not word for word. There's a recording if they want to get it verbatim. And then if there's a motion, who made the motion? If it was seconded, who seconded it? And then whether it was passed, usually when they are, it's unanimous. So usually you write passed unanimously. I think in your guys's minutes is usually what it says. But I mean, there's a template, it's easy.
Yeah, it's really
I tried to make it as simple for you guys as I could. Yeah,
names.
Yeah.
And other than
motion and, yeah,
employees who show up, and
yeah.
it's not really complicated. Volunteer. And
I can do it. I did it on the one. So.
It's only till February, that's when new votes happen, so it's only for 1 year.
What I did was I just mainly just rewatched the video. Computer. My biggest thing is just the names. That's the thing that slowed me down.
okay, well,
So if you make a seating assignment, no.
where you put musical chairs, and if you miss the chair, you're it.
Pretty much everybody usually sits in about the same spot, but.
But yeah, I mean, I did it for a lot of ways. I was actually railroaded into it, I guess, voted. I mean, just.
It's called
You were voluntold.
Voluntold, yes. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, so will somebody like to nominate Robert for that?
Or if you volunteer.
Volunteer, okay.
And then if everybody's good with that, you just gotta take a vote.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
All opposed?
thank you.
Dennis volunteered to be,
I'm on this.
Dennis volunteered to be the vice chair. Dennis volunteered to be the vice chair so that he didn't have to do the minutes.
I'm thinking about mayor next.
Think real hard about that one. Okay. And then the next item on our agenda is the planning commission handbook, which
That's just for you guys' final review before we have to take it to council. Originally there were like signature pages on there. We removed those, like the information's still there. You guys already vote. You'll just have to vote that it's good as it is. Because the signature parts were redundant, because you guys already vote and pass it at an open meeting. Why do you need to sign that you passed it at an open meeting?
yeah.
That's the only thing I
That's
changed.
partly was the holdup of just.
Yeah.
being honest with the
Yes.
council, because we have that
We
lack of quorums a couple times.
open, it's been a revolving door.
Chairman and vice chairman.
Yeah. So we tried to simplify that to make it a little easier for
So since
it to
we
be passed.
previously passed it, let's just move it on to the mayor to council. And then
If we don't pass it today, will it reappear next week on the agenda?
the planning commission handbook.
If you guys give me consensus that it's good, I can take it.
Okay, do I have a motion to pass it along to the council?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
I,
Now, it's not on your agenda no more.
Check off. Okay. The next item was the public restroom report, which has been on hold for quite a while.
yes,
Poor Steve.
since last year. I haven't looked at it since the last meeting. Now I've been diagnosed with brain fog. So, it's slightly getting better, but, I will have something before the next planning commission. Sure. Send that to you and you can distribute it to all
Yep.
members. Thank you.
Then the signage for the walking and biking trail, I just only got a map, original hiking trail from the mirror this morning. And we're gonna be working with I think it is Becky over at the city office that will be arranging for that. We had previously moved and encouraged that we would like to provide at least 2 signs directing pedestrians to the public restrooms over by the Shiloh. And situated somewhere down on Point Prairie and one probably somewhere in the vicinity of the roundabout. Just so that if people are just walking around and then all of a sudden have the urge, they can just say, oh, there's public restrooms are this way. Because at this point, there is no directions anywhere unless you go to Google and then that send you to state parks and all over the place. So that's a continuing thing. I know they've got the biking trail and we're gonna have to visit possible monies for paying for those, especially the ones on the biking trail. That was part of a bit of a fiasco with a planning set up the map and actually supposedly put in orders for the signs, but then they just kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. So that's that. So I think we can possibly use some of that, apply for some of the money that's available from the hotel tax, is that correct?
His applications are due February 30th or March 31st at 2 p.m. So that would be something the mayor and Scott would have to probably apply for.
Okay. So I need to get a price tag for that from Becky or do that, okay.
So would we need to have them an answer back or a vision back on? I mean,
Yeah.
are we involved in that
Aside from,
recommendation?
you guys don't have to do you guys wouldn't have to do anything.
Okay,
Just talk to, you would have to just talk to, I mean, you could too. The mayor and Scott about applying for the LTAC funds for it.
Well, in the meantime, I could try to get at least a ballpark amount of money, because you don't want to apply for a grant or something if you don't have a price tag for it.
Yeah.
That's a blank check.
Yeah, but good idea. You get a lot of bicycles moving around here.
Okay, so that's gonna be moving on. Mayor.
Yeah, because we only got a couple days left.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have review the parking requirements for commercial buildings, the next item on the agenda. And not sure quite where we left off at the last meeting we had on that, but it was like discussing it with the mayor this morning. I think they're of the opinion that a lot of cities have vacated the parking requirement completely, and seems to be working. There's a lot of cities in the state of Washington have gone that route. And I know some business owners and stuff, and just to talk to them. It's, I guess the example is that the city owns a lot right across the street.
Get rid of them.
So, for, like the size of the lot, with the current regulations, not even enough room on the lot to put 10 parking spots, you haven't even built it. So it's kind of a lost cause there. So,
Is that, what OSMC 1754? I mean, the, requirements for parking lots?
Mhm.
Let's read that. Is it pretty laden with regulations?
there's a lot of pages. It's actually in the packet here. Like, pages 132 through 136. I didn't print them out. Paper. But they're pretty elaborate in talking with the mayor and the city administrator this morning. It's the one thing we can't vacate is ADA requirements. Those parking spots are taboo to do anything about, but the ones that are mandated by the square footage of your building, or I'm not even sure what all of them are, because I didn't get a chance to read through them.
There's one, I mean, it varies between 250 and 500 square feet of floor area per building, except this and that. It's a mess, basically. Depends on what use they believe you're putting the property to. And then when they figure that out, then they contradict themselves a little further down. So it's a mess.
So what's the status of this?
It's been brought to our attention by business owners and the mayor and stuff that like he's describing it, it's a mess the way it's written right now. Talk about the cities. Parking, increase parking, or they aimed it for tourism and decrease the requirement for parking. Well, it's unnecessary.
Basically, what it says is that for every square foot of space in your commercial building, for every 250 square feet, you've got to have an equivalent size of parking and access to that parking spot. So in other words, you can never really utilize your land for much of anything, but set aside half of it for parking, which is a tremendous waste of space, because 95% of the time, parking is unused. Your Ocean Shores. As an example, we have one requirement for grocery stores is 250 square feet. One requirement for shopping malls is 500 square feet. But if there's a grocery store in a shopping mall, it doesn't make any sense how they have to split it up. Of course, there's rarely a grocery store inside a shopping mall. And so it makes it even further confusing as to how do you do this? In our case, we're required to have, I think, 29 spaces for no good reason. We've got the space for it, but we waste half of our land area on parking that nobody will ever use, except when they have an overflow at the convention center and they want to park on our land. Other than that, it's the other thing is that we dedicate valuable space, which could be for shops and businesses and apartments, to places where cars will probably never park. And I kind of think it ought to be up to the business owner or operator to decide how he's going to arrange for people to visit his place of business. Since we have a no on-street parking requirement anyway, that takes care of that particular issue there. But if I don't have enough space in my lot for my business, that's my problem. It certainly isn't the city's. We've also made it so that we will always look like a shopping mall from the 1970s because of these requirements. But we'll never have the type of downtown that one used to see, or one can even design now because of our parking requirements. Seabrook is an example. We'll never have that kind of neighborhood feel because we require so much space for parking. And a typical cost of a parking space is between $9,000 and $25,000, depending on what you do. If you're talking drainage and asphalt and everything else, it can get really pricey.
And 17.54 is the current ordinance.
Yeah,
That's in effect.
now the commercial area is in the page 135 and 136. It also kind of keeps us from building any more apartments downtown. Because we don't have the legal space to do so. We could if we got rid of parking, but we can't now because we're required to set aside so much for cars.
Any other questions, comments?
I would like to make a motion that we, our opinion, the planning commission is that we do away with, the parking requirement.
It's just commercial though.
Commercial,
Yeah.
thank you. Commercial. I still want to be able to park at my house.
Oh, yeah. I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So generally how that would work is you would have to update the code. Redline the code. Get that red line approved here, and then it goes to the mayor to be presented to council.
So,
Who's volunteering to redline the code?
even the mayor after this anyway, so.
You could, I mean, you could tell them that they wanna move forward and see what, you can still meet with them about it and ask what kind of changes in general you would like to see in the code, and then bring all of the changes to them to approve or edit or whatever.
And the current OCMC 17.54 is how many pages?
Or,
4. Oh, okay. And that specifically deals with this parking issue,
yes,
those 4 pages.
yes.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's all parking, residential and commercial in that one, or is it just?
Both.
Yes. So you have to sift through it to find the commercial stuff.
Yeah, we would be dealing with the bottom of 135 and the entirety of 136.
Yeah.
So,
Eating the previous, motion is. Make a motion to bring back the red line version for a final vote.
Yeah.
With the approval of the mayor. Just go right to the council.
Do I need to so amend that motion?
I think I would.
Okay,
Yeah, you could just say, yeah, I'll amend my motion to that and that'll be.
I'll amend my motion.
second.
And then all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then the next item on the agenda is the reviewing the marijuana business regulations, OSMC 510. Peterson has some information on that.
I actually handed, if everybody got one, I think I gave everybody that is around the table and did I give you one of those?
Well, I gave mine back.
Oh, I'm sorry, here.
No, we're good.
Oh, no, we got plenty. We got plenty. I looked into, because the mayor has actually said that he had somebody, there was somebody that wanted to apply for a business license for cannabis, to sell cannabis. And he wanted, this has been going on for some time, he wanted the planning commission to look into it and give him a recommendation on what we thought. Well, you know, getting stuff from the state, especially the Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board, is like tough. But I finally ended up with this piece of paper that I found that it was actually sent to me. And I handed one out to everybody, and basically what it says is that because of your, gosh, I think I gave you guys the wrong thing. Oh, no, anyway, bottom line is that if somebody wants to apply for a license, a business license, to run a cannabis facility, there's certain requirements that need to be done. The proper step would be, first of all, the city has an ordinance that they only allow one cannabis store within inside of the city limits. So that would have to be changed. And the state also quotes one cannabis because that's what they gave us, and that's why we put it in our ordinance.
Is that based on population?
I don't know what it was, nobody knows what it was placed on. It's like, well, we had so many licenses and we're gonna give one to a small city and 25 to a big city, you know, I mean, that type of deal. It is the way the way I read it, so to speak.
We have one.
We have one. And to the proper procedure to get that changed would first, that the applicant, that first of all, before anything could be done, the council has to change the ordinance that reads one, you know, to two, basically, or whatever they decide. And at that time, a person, a business owner, you know, potential business owner would have to fill out a application for a business license. That person submitted the business license to the city. Then the planning commission, and if I'm saying this wrong, correct me, please. The planning commission would have to go through all, the what?
Planning department.
I'm sorry, the
Yeah.
planning department, that's what I meant to say. The planning commission, the planning department
Okay, yeah. there-
would have to do all the legwork to make sure that their request of their location and everything that follows the state guidelines. You can have it so many distance away from a school, a park, you know, there's many things involved in it. Well, once they go through that and it turns out to be feasible code-wise, then they in turn issue a business license to this business. And then that business owner has to petition the cannabis board, the liquor commission, to get them to give the final approval for it.
For a second one.
For a second one. So it's a process that there's a little bit of legwork on, a lot of legwork, I would assume. And bottom line is, it's got to start somewhere. And when we had our meeting with the mayor this morning, we explained it to him that, you know, certainly, and he explained it to us, basically, that the first thing they need to do is change the code. The city code that allows only one to allow two. And then the process would begin. So, discussion. That should be your words to say.
I know. So we have to do the work first before they do anything.
Exactly.
Is that the liquor, the LCB's
Yep,
rule?
it's a state. that
Oh,
requires it.
It says that, they're not granting any new licenses except under the social equity program.
But see, that's the misconception. But they will entertain creating a license with an application.
Is there currently someone interested in opening a second?
Yes, that's why the whole thing came to where it is right now.
What advantages would it be for the public?
Well, the public is, I mean, the advantage for the public in my opinion, but I'm a little biased because I have a wife that's incapacitated with lung cancer. And if I go to the marijuana store you know, every week, when gummies are on sale. And that's what she sleeps at night with. She takes gummies to sleep. And I talk to the people within the store, not anything about what's going on here, but about their business. And they have over 50% of their business is senior citizens.
Mhm.
And it becomes a medical situation. And there's even medical people that are requesting that their patients go this way. And with that in mind, it's basically makes it a little bit more available, a little bit more competitive, price wise. So it does serve the public in that.
Do we know what they make, or what they pay in taxes? This one here in town, do we have any idea about how much money they're making for theirs?
I have no idea, and nor will they tell us. I guess we could look at
That
it.
would be public.
But bottom line is, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, well, so I think that would be great to bring another one in. If
And
it's gonna help
raise our
the
taxes,
city, you know,
tax base.
yeah,
Business and operational.
right, yeah,
So those,
Competition and increasing the tax base.
yeah.
those taxes are, go to the town
Well, they go both places.
and the state.
Business tax will go to the city. There's a percentage of their business and operations that the city gets to tax.
And then the state gets whatever they're.
Yeah.
That's the state tax.
Yeah, everybody's in on it, you know.
I have no idea.
I'm one with. Yeah,
So just from the planning department perspective, I think just food for thought would be, being careful or being mindful of introducing change to code or ordinances, for one. So maybe thinking of it, what would be the max per capita? Obviously, they have the school zones, children, things like that. But being able to think about, okay, here may be one applicant, and I think I actually remember this because I remember they kept on pointing out, I'm social equity,
Mhm.
And so just, being mindful that you're not making it for this one applicant versus really thinking about if it is truly a competitive market, if we feel comfortable with 5, shops like that. And
Should they fit within the,
exactly.
Parameters of what the requirements are.
Right, exactly. So maybe, that's what I would suggest, because I think we'll continue to kind of get into these situations where then now the third person comes to you and says, I really want this, store.
or something else?
Something or
Like,
something else,
We
yeah.
don't generally change code for one
Yeah.
person.
Yeah,
So instead of changing it from 1 to 2, you're gonna change it.
right. What is the number?
Yeah.
That we feel comfortable with, that falls within those guidelines, and have, that lens on it.
Could you put something in there that it's up to leave it up to that it's our recommendation, we leave it up to the council to set the number?
Oh,
that sounds
I'm
good.
sure that's a reasonable option.
Yeah.
I'm looking to Nicole.
I was just thinking,
Generally, when you submit a code change,
It's pretty big.
you send them an ordinance, you
Yeah.
send it how you guys would like to see it, and then they can make any changes. So whoever's presenting it, because Mark used to go and present all of them that you guys would do. Whoever's presenting it said, we just picked a number we thought was reasonable.
Mhm.
Please, if you don't feel that's reasonable, help us find a number.
What is this social equity program?
I'm not 100%, but if I remember the details with this applicant, I believe he was referencing that they were no longer giving these licenses, but because of either his background, how he obtained the license, maybe what documentation he had approved for his application, he was then approved under this social equity licensure.
With the present applicant?
Yeah. So
And there is currently only one applicant.
I only knew of one, and it was months ago, almost a year ago, that I heard of this one person. I mean, so it could be someone else, but it sounds like.
I have no
it's
idea.
one. Yeah, sounds like it's just one though, that's kind of getting this conversation going. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's potential to be, like, what if more than one person wants to have a,
Right.
Mhm.
How did they get it, you know, oh, I'm gonna be in the Oi Hut area and I'm far away from yada yada, you know, and oh, I wanna be in downtown as well. You know,
Well, in all honesty, the city is very, very limited on any space that follows the criteria mandated. I mean, in fact, I'm not even quite so sure this place does. That they-
right. Mhm.
I'm sorry, you translate that for me.
Pardon?
You translate that for me?
Yes. What I'm saying is there's not a lot of areas that you can put a retail store that sells marijuana that doesn't infringe on all the that doesn't meet all the requirements. You know, that meets all the requirements.
Right.
You know, with schools, parks, you know, and there's a whole list of them, and I don't,
there's so many parks.
Parks, yeah, that's.
Yeah.
So many parks.
there's so, you know, so. And as I've talked to people about this, you know, from the city and even from the, you know, other people, that it's gonna be darn tough to find a place to put another marijuana store.
Got it, thank you.
So,
I think there was also a, within so many feet or something like that, because I do remember an applicant that came through and wanted to go into the area where Subway is, that mall.
mhm.
And I think reading through the criteria
Too close to
again,
the other
I
one?
think it was too close to the other one. In addition to that, we only allow one, you know, but even trying to kind of look at everything and exhaust
Right.
all of it.
Right. And that's what you guys would do.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what we're typically reviewing.
And that's the one that we had heard about.
Oh, is
The
it?
mayor was the one that you wanted to put it right next to the liquor store.
Oh, that's right, yes, in that area. Mhm.
Subway, liquor store.
Yes,
Convenient.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I don't know, I think the public should have some feedback on it too. Cause right now there's more churches than liquor stores and marijuana stuff.
Mhm.
And so I don't think it should just be done by planning saying, yeah, well. I don't know. I just think there should be community input from it.
But basically, we don't recommend to the council that they have a public hearing. All we do is give our suggestion that they go this way on what they had us look at.
Anytime something gets put on the council's agenda, there is an opportunity for public comment on that item.
Okay,
Every item that gets added to the agenda as an action item has public comment.
thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's a good point. So where do we go from here? Prepare a motion to change the ordinance to be more than one,
Well,
or
we don't
Not
prepare a
be limited
motion to
to-
change the ordinance. We just recommend, don't we? Basically, recommend that, you know, our position, if it is our position,
Yeah.
is
Hmm.
in favor of looking into changing the ordinance.
And you could see if the mayor maybe already has something, he might already have something drafted.
Well, if you did,
That
you
affects
didn't
some
give it to us
change.
this morning,
No.
so.
No. Or maybe already has an idea of how they want it to look. So it could just be talking to him. I don't know.
Why don't we table it and you talk to them and see?
Okay.
Whether he wants you guys to
Because
draft the changes or if he
there's
has,
something better
him
to
and
do.
Scott wanna draft the changes.
I think it's kind of steep. Thing we've got one just right out of town to boot. And so putting another one in, like I said, it needs to really be looked at. Cause that one there, I bet I drove past it. It's, one thing I can say about the current one is I don't ever see anything negative about it. It's just a building. You know what I mean? There's not a bunch of people hanging out there, you know? Waiting for you to come out of the store or whatever. Hey.
Well, and there's some people who think that, you know, okay, you know, how many marijuana stores do you have in town? Well, we can have one. Well, how many liquor stores do you have in town? You know, I realize that, you know, it's not, I mean, you can see how they would think about that.
Yeah.
And it's my opinion that because of the medical ability of marijuana, you know, I think it's a good thing to add another one or at least if we don't even know. if we
Have the
can,
opportunity.
At least have the opportunity to add another one.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I do too.
Mhm.
The question the public may have before we get too far is, where's it gonna be? And
Well-
we don't know what to say.
Well, bottom line is they can't even figure out where it's gonna be until somebody goes in and applies for one.
And they want to apply for one.
You know, they're not gonna have this young lady over here put up a little sign saying marijuana store available. No, I'm teasing.
Fine, by me.
But I'm just saying, I mean, and I don't think it would hurt for us, for like you to talk to the mayor and tell him how and I guess that's what you're saying, how he wants to present it to
Yeah,
from us to him.
whether he wants to have someone in his office draft the changes, or whether you guys are to draft the changes, potential changes, what he thinks that looks like, I guess.
But I think for us, is it okay for us?
Yeah.
I think for us to start that process, we need a consensus of this group with. You know,
Whether
because
any
because we're
more
not
is-
gonna do anything behind each other's back.
No, yeah. So I think for you guys, it would be like, do you guys think adding more potential, more opportunity for marijuana facilities, would be a benefit to the city?
And the people of the city.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's good.
Community, yeah.
Absolutely. I think any business that is successful is gonna help the city. And so that's where I lean. Whether it's selling widgets or marijuana, it doesn't matter. As long as we're getting revenue off of it to help the city out, I think that's the best way to go.
Just to get the added benefit of, we just don't have medical possibilities.
And so many roadblocks, yeah.
And then again, just from the planning department, another, food for thought, when kind of developing that, what I do see is that if something is advanced with the either health and safety or medical behind it, then you will get poked quite a bit from the community, to break that, and so, for example, if you are using the, demographic, how many people are utilizing this product or whatever, then start thinking about, okay, so then what really makes it beneficial to the community if that's your umbrella that you're positioning yourself on. So for example, is it about, we have to be mindful of children, parks, et cetera, but is it better as far as like the square feet or, how many feet away a neighboring shop is, retailer is? So in this case, we have one at Hogan's Corner, we have one in downtown. Is it then we're trying to get one in the, end of town, again, to try to make it actually available for more people if, again, the need is medical. So I would just say, again, keeping that in mind.
Well, so basically, but I guess what I'm saying is, I don't know if we've got everybody's consensus to talk to the mayor about getting this done. I mean, as far as how he wants to word it. Or how he wants us to present it to him. Do we have permission to, do you have permission to go to him and discuss this and speak for all of us? You guys see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know how we would frame that in a motion to give our chairman the right to proceed with
The changes.
the changes,
Potential changes.
the potential changes that we have okay.
He's like, "Feed words."
It's so good to me.
You must be part Italian.
Sounds like we'd like more information about siting in particular. And I imagine this would-be applicant has a better feel for that than we do at this point. So he knows where he can put it, but we don't. And I don't know if that's part of our decision or not. It might not be, but
Well, then,
Part of your decision.
you're not just doing it for the one.
Right.
Yeah. 'Cause we're gonna,
well, in general, where could it be cited legally? We don't know. It's a rather constrained area downtown here. I just don't.
And that's why she said maybe somewhere in the southern area of the city, but I don't know if there is anywhere down there.
Right, right. I mean, I could definitely take a look to see, but it would be per current ordinance, per current coding. These are the locations that it could be in. But again, the one piece that negates all of this is because we say we only have one in the city.
Exactly. So that's the first step is, first
It's
step
maybe
is,
for the one.
Right. And then, yeah, would you like me to do some soft research on just potential locations or?
Well, I'm not worried so much about the city rule. I think the state rule is going to be more of a challenge than our local rule here. Because the state says where you can cite it as well, don't they?
I don't think so.
it's actually was adopted by the city, you know,
Okay.
of where, you know, within 325 feet of you know, and things like that.
I don't know if they patterned that after a state.
I'm sure they probably, I mean, not sure.
Yeah.
I would imagine they probably did.
It just helps to know a little bit more. I don't know. I don't care either way, but many will want to know, and so will the people speaking at the public portion of the council meeting, whenever that happens too.
So do you guys wanna wait until you see that information before you take it to the mayor? Is that?
What I think would be more feasible is for us, and I'm not trying to push anything through, but it would be more feasible for the city to see if the council was willing to change the ordinance before they start having city employees spending their time doing stuff that maybe never happen.
Well, that's cool.
I mean, that's kind of an economical thing.
If they don't change the. This current code,
Also not-
all spinning our wheels here because.
Exactly, and I think the order would be that what we've talked about.
So,
We have empty spaces here, yeah. Buildings that,
I don't know the answer to that.
you know,
there's a lot of,
But do they fall in the right parameters?
well, that's the thing that we may have
like
to
the city
change.
has a lot, the city has a
Well,
lot
and-
right
and
across
then-
the road here, but I think there's a proximity to the library that's an exception. As well as
Yeah.
schools. I think I saw the library. I was listening.
So it sounds like the step one would be to determine whether or not the mayor would be willing to forward something to the council.
Exactly. Okay, do we need a,
You don't need an official motion, I don't think.
thank you.
Okay.
Maybe we should sit closer to it.
I mean, you could. If anybody's like opposed to Randy talking to the mayor about this, like.
No,
No,
No, push it,
table it.
bring in that revenue.
Table it, so I talk to the mayor and leave now. Yeah, who's going to, who's on first and what's on second? And
I don't know something. That's
that's the one. Okay, and we already did the fire sprinkler equipment, so. The next item is new business thing, and this was something that actually was just brought up on a previous meeting with. Consideration of modifying the planning commission meeting schedule to going once a month instead of. We had quite a discussion about that this morning, and it's, we would always have, if we voted to just go to once a month meeting, you'll have the additional meeting.
Yeah.
Something required. But we were only mandated by the state to
Yeah.
have one meeting a month and a minimum of 9 per year. So we can actually skip 3 months.
So how I would do it for you guys, if this is the path you go down, I would leave both meetings on the books at the library. And if you chose to not have one or only have one that month, I would just cancel whatever meeting you're not gonna have.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That way, we're not losing our space here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So it would still be on the books as like an official meeting, but we just know ahead of time that we're canceling, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yes,
If in fact we were at a meeting and we decided to have the meeting in 2 weeks instead of a month because of something that is, you know, time sensitive, like, you know, then at that meeting, possibly we could say, okay, you know, I think we should meet in 2 weeks versus a month, or say at the end of the meeting, okay, we'll see you next month unless anything comes up. Is that feasible?
I think that's very feasible.
I do too.
Great.
One thing, bringing that up would be, there is some time sensitive things that their department's working on right now. That one thing that's like kind of that big date on the calendar of June 30th, I think it is.
Mhm.
And we're expecting reports and updates from planning department, like that whole annual thing that's gotta be done, and you're coming up. So would we wanna just make a motion to go with a once a month meeting unless but keep the 2 meetings on the calendar at the library? Or would it be just better to keep it as is and then just?
You can keep it as is and then decide at the meeting whether you wanna cancel the next one.
That way we won't lose the space.
That might be the easiest way to go about it. So like, you would have it on, we could put it on your every meeting agenda saying, something like next meeting cancellation or something like that, so that you guys make the motion at that meeting to cancel the next one if you choose to.
Good point.
You won't get paid any less either.
So that's how we could navigate that meeting by meeting, just adding that onto the agenda. Should you guys choose to skip the next meeting?
Next meeting, question mark, okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
I'll find better wording. I don't have it on my.
I'm just asking the question. Basically, what we could do at a time like when we're getting ready to close the meeting. Hey, is there enough things going on you want to meet in 2 weeks?
Pretty much.
You could start that with today's meeting.
If you want.
Yeah, we can
We do at least once a month though.
Yes.
Right.
meet at least once.
Mhm.
For at least 9 months, because we missed 2 months last year. I think we missed like the whole month of December because one meeting was canceled because it was Christmas week and the other one we didn't have.
Lack of a quorum.
Is it 9 meetings annually or just 9 months? Oh, okay. We can wrap them all up in the spring, then take the rest of your off.
Well, it says one a month. And then 9 meetings minimum.
That's an idea.
We can just date it differently.
Sounds good to me. Okay, so. On to new business, actually, that wasn't. Reports, community development. Michelle is here. You have anything for us today?
I do not, yeah. Still waiting. You are exactly right that we are talking with our consultants and everyone is on deadline right now. Information, so we should have more, I should have more to share with you. Wrap that up. Midsummer.
But it's in process and you found a consultant now?
Yes, yep, they've already
That was still
decided and I.
Out for bid last.
Oh, that's right. That was last time, but then we canceled the meeting. Yeah, that was a Nicole Stickney, and I'm sorry I didn't bring my notes from that, but we have found the firm that we'll be working with, and I do believe that she already had a history working with the city beforehand. So there's Oh,
I said, perfect.
oh, good, yeah, yeah, and so there's some familiarity there, knowing how we communicate as well, and so, yeah. They were just, negotiating the last piece of the contract, but it was already signed, and, yeah.
And could you bring up our new members as to what that's involved with? Several meetings ago.
This is a recurring, review of our, what is this, critical area?
Comprehensive, and
Yeah.
critical areas ordinance, comprehensive plan,
Yeah.
every what, 6 years?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, it's recurring, and this is gonna be one of additional reports also that will be going through. So critical area is the first one that will be reviewed, and then they'll continue taking chunks out of additional reports.
There's some portion of that has to do with our water supply too.
Absolutely, right, yeah, so, yeah.
It's been so all of that stuff is documented in our previous minutes. You can pull off the website. You guys that were here for it. So that's good. It's in process. Awesome. Okay, so do we have any other any reports from any committee members at all? No. That's for the next meeting. Okay. So we're now open for public communication. Yes, sir.
Yes, the marijuana issue, I think you ought to get citizens involved in that. And I don't think everybody over 65 uses it. If you need competition, you think that's the benefit. You've got one outside at Hogan's Corners that's 4 miles away. We've got 3 of them in Aberdeen. You want another one here? You gotta get citizens behind that, is my opinion.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Rita, you have any comments or questions?
I do have some comments, thank you. On your discussion about parking, I wanted to mention that the reason some of the other municipalities are deleting their minimum parking requirements is because it's required for fully planning jurisdictions under the Growth Management Act. And whether one complies with the GMA or not will determine your eligibility for funding for all the critical infrastructure programs that the city wants to abide by. In fact, the parking regulations in Ocean Shores are textbook examples of what's known as exclusionary zoning, which was intentionally implemented in the 60s that discriminated against what are now protected classes under the Fair Housing Act. So there's a lot more to what that discussion that I don't have time to get into. But one thing I do want to mention is that the Washington law against discrimination, which is Washington's version of the Fair Housing Act, includes several protected classes that the federal regulations don't impose. And that includes parking regulations, and not the federal protected classes applied to commercial properties as well. So I would suggest that you have legal review whatever you come up with regarding your parking regulations, because you're going to have to consider Washington's more stricter view of parking. So if you're going to delete the minimum parking requirements from commercial properties, which I think you should do, you're going to have to do it on residential properties as well. I have more comments, but I'll save that for writing. Thank you so much for having me attend. Have a great day.
You too. Any other public comments at all? Okay.
Just want to review this thing on the bicycle or the trails and bicycle things. So what is going to be the process since we've got 6 days to go into the funding?
Yeah. Good. Oh. Blue zones.
Yeah,
and all those little green things are supposed to be signed, path, that's a path, parks, okay.
right. Well, some of this isn't even really here, or they just using existing roads.
Yep.
Okay. So the funding is just trying to put up signs? Because that's kind of why I got into this is public health and
Yeah.
this is a positive thing for new people to move in, et cetera. So I think it's a very important thing to keep up with. So what has to take place so we can at least try to get this thing funded?
Well, like Randy said, you have to get estimates. And I think that would be, since you're gonna be working with Becky, or Becky's the one that they're gonna have ordering them or something. You'd have to get estimates from her. I don't know how long that takes.
So Randy, are you gonna try to get hold of her?
Yes. I've actually got her number from the mayor, so. What was that? How many signs they would need to go around that thing? I don't think they mapped out signage on anything I've got here.
I didn't see a thing for signage. I didn't see, when we were posting about that, the information they gave us didn't have like what the signs were gonna look like or anything. So it would be designing a whole new sign on what you want it to look like.
So anyway.
But yes, it's mostly, that trail is mostly using existing road.
Yeah.
No,
Cause I use some of the lane roads and
Yeah.
when this one ended, the first time I went on it, and it ends on a curb at a 35 mile an hour zone, I didn't think that was very fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's extremely important. That's how we get new people, younger people to move into the community, having, they call it walkable. And
Mhm.
but options.
I mean, we definitely got a walkable beach. I'm not-
I think there is.
But so what can you do to
I like
keep
this,
these
right?
alive?
For the best one.
I'll help you. I mean,
I know.
I just think it's
That would-
important because it's only once a year we can ask for funding.
But twice, because you can do it again in October.
Oh,
It opens again in
City.
October.
City actually,
There was a gentleman, from the blue zone.
a lot of these people's parking lot, you
Oh, I
know,
know, yeah.
that'll help.
Yeah,
eliminate.
It will, yeah. They've never demarcated that area.
okay, so the guy right down there and
Yeah, good idea, yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I think I get it on the city website. I've seen it before.
okay. If you need it, you can take it. I mean, I'm not gonna.
I've got
Right.
I've got that in here somewhere now, I think about.
Okay, but you,
Okay.
you call,
That that I get from him.
Okay.
The sign
You go home.
is sitting somewhere.
that means you've got,
It's possible. We don't know.
if you don't have it, say,
Great they were, 'cause they were.
I don't know what.
That's
we
one thing I.
I don't know how far along they are with that, and if at all.
I'll fall through. I just hate to see funding go away for something like that.
Yeah. I'm guessing for at least.
I know they came up with this crazy idea. that-
Yeah.
So fair housing issue.
Hopefully get some sort of a quote.
Municipal research said no such thing.
Notes on this. So anyway,
Maybe with respect to handicap parking.
Next meeting date
it's meeting date.
What is it for apartments?
would be the 10th.
Keeping that meeting date,
April.
April.
So we're gonna meet in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a good plan.
So, without any other comments, sir?
No, second meeting,
It's the 14th.
second week of, is it the 14th? 14th, I like.
14th, okay.
You like, well, at least you're admitting to
Yeah,
it.
going kind of that one off, yeah.
April 14th.
And I'll contact you for a template.
Easy.
Okay, so, without further ado, Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Go ahead, Pete.
A motion to adjourn the meeting? Yeah.
I second it.
Good job, guys. Good job.
My first move, I hear.